Okay, so apparently my audio was not working for the last chat. I don't even know where my phone is. I guess I should find that. And maybe I can get on Instagram on my computer and see if anybody has messaged me. Well, hopefully Melissa and friends come back. I was in the middle of giving a live collective reading, and I think I am going to go look for my phone really quick to see. Sorry, this is so janky. I apologize. Oh, nope, not that. Okay, found my phone. Lots of people messaging me that they couldn't hear the audio. Who said this? Okay, well, we'll see what happens. This is like, oh my gosh, everyone's texting me. Technical difficulties. Joy. Okay, well, you know, you live and you learn. If you're watching this recording, I'm so sorry. Okay, I have to find the link now to share it out. I promise I'll put timestamps at the bottom of this so that you can skip ahead to get to when we actually get to the reading. Let me see. Wow. How do I see my current live link? Share. Okay, here we go. Lordy. It was weird. The sound was connected to my phone, which was in a different room, and so that is why the audio wasn't working. I really thought I checked the settings, but you know, baby's first YouTube live, so now I know. Keep my phone around so that I can get the notifications. It's back. Oh, Melissa, my angel, thank you for going through this process with me. I would have just been oblivious. Yeah, thanks. Thank you for your support. Melissa, if there is a question that you have for the tarot, please put it in the chat. Otherwise, I will return to the collective reading that I was talking through about the Ten of Wands. But I'll give you a couple minutes, Melissa, to tip tap type if you so desire, and we'll just anchor in this new YouTube stream. Just going to drop in. I'm going to close my eyes and ground into this space and offer up the invitation to come into a more heart-centered, grounded foundation so that we are anchoring into a place of safety and trust for these vulnerable conversations that are still to come. I trust that the YouTube gods will share this updated video with whoever it is that needs to find it. And if it ends up just being Melissa and I, then that's what needed to happen today. And I'm grateful that we got even here. I am extremely excited for this eclipse season, for this astrological new year that is coming up. We are restarting a whole new cycle on the 20th of March when Aries season kicks off. And so we are really in this energy now of beginnings and of endings, and potently one of the themes that is coming up in multiple places astrologically is this idea of surrender. And so, there's a cool cardinal outside your window. I have my red candles lit. I got a new lighter, and then I stuck this red strawberry on it as my like ritual lighter, and I painted my nails red. I am also feeling very Vesuvian, I think is maybe the word, and like connected to the color red, Melissa, during this Venus retrograde. And so I love that you have a little pop of red happening in your world too. It is our connective tissue here. And the message that I have been getting over and over again for this Venus retrograde is more romance. Venus rules love and beauty and art and romance. And Venus is currently retrograding, which means it looks like Venus is going backwards in the night sky. And retrogrades are a time to revisit and to reassess and to reevaluate. And so to take a look at your life now and to think about all of the places that you might inject a little bit more romance, a little bit more beauty, a little bit more art for art's sake into your life. And that's part of the reason why I stuck these sparkles on this lighter, was like, let me infuse a little bit of ritual into this thing that is like so mundane otherwise. And it has been a really gratifying experience of intentionally slowing down and intentionally seeking out more beauty, more art, and more sensuality in a way, because Venus reminds me so often that we are magnetic beings and that we are constantly in this relationship of attracting things to us and also of being attracted to other things. And so being mindful of like, what is it that I am both attracting and being attracted to has also been a really nice space for me to be navigating perhaps during this Venus retrograde. And so, Melissa, I think if you don't have any specific questions, I will just shuffle the cards and see what comes up in terms of like general wisdom or general guidance, and you can let me know how that feels for you. Does that sound good, or do you want to pose a specific question? I guess is a better. Okay, couple cues. Great. feel free to start typing, and I'm just going to share this card that popped out even as we were doing a little bit of intro. This is the Hanged Man, and this is I wish I could get it to focus a little better. There we go. This is a major arcana card, which means that it carries a little bit more weight than some of the cards that might crop up later. And the Hanged Man is a pretty funny looking card. I'm going to try it. There we go. Is a pretty funny looking card because this individual appears almost like retrograde Venus, appears to be doing one thing, but is actually like fine. It seems like this person is like stuck upside down in this, I don't know, in this space where they maybe don't have any agency or are at the mercy of whoever it is that got them tied up here. But the reality of the Hanged Man is that they're honestly fine. If we flip the card so that it's right side, I guess upside down, but so that they are right side up, you can see they look actually quite comfortable. And there's all of this like illumination that is coming out of their psyche, out of their crown chakra. And it is a question, I mean, it is a card that often invites the question, like, where are you maybe giving away some of your power or not owning some of your power to its fullest extent? Where are you not activating the gifts and the skills and the potentiality at your disposal? And it is sometimes a card of wearing victimhood, putting on victimhood, putting on an identity of certain things are available to me, but certain things just aren't. And I'm just stuck in this situation that is actually doesn't have to be your reality. And so it's interesting that this is the first card that popped out because it's sort of like a gut check a little bit from the cards. Sometimes before we even get to the specific questions, will be like, hey, I just want you to be aware that this energy is percolating and present. And so to do a little bit of that reflecting, that internal sussing out of what areas in your life is this in this moment true for you. And so I'm just going to put that aside because I want to get to your questions, your specific questions, but you'll have to let me know if that felt like it was meant for you or if maybe it was meant for somebody else who's going to be watching this recording, I hope. And as I read your questions, it says, sometimes I'm afraid to turn on my magnetism because of unwanted attention. Yeah, people, for sure. How can I get better at attracting what I truly want? Okay, so as I sort of sink into and think about these questions, sometimes I'm afraid to turn on my magnetism because of unwanted attention, people, etc. I'm going to shuffle while I allow this question to sort of sink in. And I'm thinking a little bit about like the root of the question. That is it the fear? Is it the unwanted? So I think what I'm going to pose to the cards is, how might Melissa resolve or engage with the fear that she associates with being seen, being visible? How can Melissa resolve some of the fear that she has around being seen? Okay. This is interesting. So we got another major arcana card, the Chariot. And it's interesting because this is not necessarily a card that I would associate with being afraid, because here the wisdom is to just go. The wisdom is to like be in balance, to remember that there is sort of like a light and a dark in every situation, but that when you have balance inside, that your momentum cannot be stopped. And so as I'm thinking about the idea of just going despite your fear, there is even a little bit of question in my own heart, because I don't love the idea of telling you to, or advising you, or suggesting that you ignore your fears or dismiss them. And so I'm just waiting for a little bit more information to come through. And the word that's coming through is trust, which feels very resonant with this eclipse season. That is fully the theme of this eclipse cycle, is to trust and to surrender. And so what is your relationship to trusting that you actually are safe? What is your relationship to establishing boundaries? Okay, here we go. Yeah. To establishing boundaries so that there is a safe path for your momentum, for your flow, for your visibility to fly without the fear. It's the visual that I'm getting is like a race car track where the cars are not allowed, the cars are safe to fly at, I don't even know how fast race cars go. I'm like 120 miles an hour, because there are established boundaries. And so when I think about the idea of being seen and experiencing unwanted attention, there is a question of what are your practices related to establishing almost like energetic boundaries, because it can be safe to be seen. It can be safe to shine your light and to have your spiritual support team put up a protective hedge for you so that you don't have to carry this fear or allow this fear to hold you back. Because this card is indicating there is this like fire, there is this like momentum available to you if you were to like fully show up in your power. And so I want to honor that that is available and question a little bit, Melissa, what it is that you are, what practices you might engage in to deepen your trust and to deepen your boundaries so that you do have the capability to like take your foot off the brake or put your foot on the gas. let me know in the chat. Okay, examples. Perfect. So examples of, well, trust, number one, is a choice, which is sometimes an annoying thing to have to talk through. So let me start actually with engaging in some boundary setting. From what I remember, you are a person who practices their religious faith. And I'm not versed well in scripture, but I am extremely confident that there are, let me say it like this. If you have faith and are not simply practicing for the cultural aspects, then what I would do is utilize the text that you are putting your faith in to identify where there might be spiritual protections available to you. I'm sure I'm like thinking about like the Christian Bible, which is the thing that I grew up with, and I'm like, hedge of protection is a phrase that like cropped up in my youth that my mom used to say to my brother and I, like, there's a hedge of protection that God has put on you, and as your mom, I am like praying for that in your life right now. And so are there things that you have faith in that you can pull from or identify with to remember that you are safe, that there is protection, that it is not just you as like an individual human who is responsible for maintaining your own safety. There are things that we do that are, we lock our doors at night. We don't like invite in every single person. We use our intuition to understand who it is and what it is that we feel safe with. And also we can cultivate an energy of greater protection as we step out and start to be seen online or on stage or on camera or whatever, by anchoring into something that you actually believe in. Let me know if that makes sense. Yeah, thank you for acknowledging some of the fear around this. And I wonder if this idea that Jews are never safe, I wonder if this is something that you could work with, this idea. Not because it's not a lived reality and not a part of Jewish history, but is that what the Jewish texts say? That Jews are never safe? Or does it say that they are God's people and that God does protect them and that safety is an option, a possibility? I'm thinking about the story of Moses taking the Jews out of Egypt. And I know in the Christian Bible that it talks about them wandering for, I want to say 40 days and 40 nights, but maybe I'm getting my Bible stories confused. But I am just looking to probe this idea that Jews are never safe, as like whether or not that is something that is what God has said, or is just is what we are shown, and perhaps the lived experience of the people in your community. Because faith is the thing that we return to despite our external circumstances. And so you can choose to believe in a better reality, and even your belief, just your belief in that better reality, can help to usher it in. And so it's possible for us to reevaluate this idea of Venus again. Hi, Jennifer. I'm so glad you're here. For us to reevaluate our own beliefs about what is possible for ourselves. And so, Melissa, maybe you just play with that and experiment with beginning to, maybe you write a story or you write a script, or you start to experiment with this notion that actually, as a person of Jewish faith, I am safe no matter where I go, because I am a part of God's chosen people, and he has his hand on me, and he doesn't let harm come to me. And for that, I am deeply grateful. And I understand that that is not the lived reality of every person who identifies the way that I do, and I am choosing to believe this so that it becomes part of my reality and then is available to my brothers and sisters as they witness my safety and my light and my visibility, bringing me good things rather than harm. And see where that takes you. And then in terms, Melissa, of attracting what it is that you truly want, I mean, once you believe that you're safe, then the second thing is to believe that your desires are safe. And once you can start to believe that your desires are safe for you to have, that is what attraction is. It's just radiating out the idea that my desires are safe for me to have. And in fact, it is God's desire for me to have the things that he has put on my heart. And so I make myself available to them. And then see the synchronicities, right, that start to come in. So I would love to see, hear, understand a little bit of what's happening for you now, Melissa, as we talk through this. And Jennifer, if you have any questions specifically for the tarot that you'd like to put forward, please put them in the chat, and we'll do a little card pull for you, my dear. And I'm going to take a little sip of water. This is another way I'm romanticizing my life, is drinking this like pink electrolyte drink, which is delicious and is keeping me hydrated. Okay. Melissa, I see your response. Yeah, the safety issue is a big thing for me. There's a chasm between the things I put into practice and this notion of safety. So your suggestions are very helpful. Okay, wonderful. Because I will close, Melissa, our question with this idea of the chariot and of going and of doing and of sometimes, again, I am reticent to suggest that you dismiss your fears. I would rather you engage with them and resolve them. And sometimes the way to begin to identify with an alternative experience than the one that you're currently having is to simply do something different than what you are currently doing. And so if you are feeling deeply afraid to take action and be seen, there might be some medicine in holding that version of yourself who has this intense fear and talking them through what it is going to be like to just experiment in a low stakes environment with being seen anyways, and starting to get some momentum and starting to have the experience of being seen and the result being you still being safe, that could begin to sort of have this like snowball effect. Because that is also what the chariot is about, is like the power of momentum. And so with that, Melissa, let me know. Obviously, you have my number. We can continue this conversation. And Jennifer, I'm going to turn to you and your question. What marketing strategies should I employ to get my first paid client? Love a paid client. Love a paid client. And what messages do you have for me as I grow my online business? Okay, cool. I'm going to switch over to my True Heart deck for some fun, changing up the energy a little bit. And I'm thinking about your question. Marketing strategies, we'll see what the tarot says. We'll see if I get any specific downloads, but I am lit up by this idea of like first paid client. And so I'm going to put my attention there. And we'll see what wisdom comes through. Okay. So in order for Jennifer to call in and receive and be of service to their first paid client, what could be some, what helpful information is going to help them connect with that first paid client? And I'm trying to think of even the word. I'm like, what word do you get your first paid client? Do you I'm going to use the word land. I don't know why. To help Jennifer land her first paid client. Okay. Honestly, this card is one of my faves. This is one of my favorite cards. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Oh, come on. Wow. She's cute. She's so cute, right? Yes, this card is the 9 of Cups. She's a babe. This card, Jennifer, I don't know if you were here for any of the Venus retrograde conversation, but Venus retrograde is something that's happening right now astrologically. It started on March 1st and goes for 40 days. And so we're like deep in the throes of Venus retrograde right now. And Venus rules beauty and art and sensuality and attraction. And retrogrades are a beautiful time to revisit, reevaluate, refresh your own perspectives and point of views on the beauty, the art, the magnetism, the etc. And so this feels extremely resonant because the Nine of Cups, I mean, she's like, what a beauty, right? Cups are a suit of emotion, a suit of feeling, a suit of, it's very like Vesuvian sort of suit. And the 9 is a number of like near completion. It's like we're at like 90% is often the way that I think about the 9. And this card is someone who owns their creative impulses, their emotional experience, and who is truthful and visible in their glory. And so it's like deeply connected actually to the conversation that we were having with Melissa about like being seen and trusting that you are safe and protected to put your message, to put your truth, to put your art out into the world, and to trust that by putting your light out there, I want to like move my little candle over. I'm like, putting your light out there is the thing that is going to draw in the people who need the medicine that you are practicing. And so I think the like marketing strategies. Hi, Sunny. Happy to have you as well. If you have some questions for the tarot, put them in the chat, please. The marketing strategies are going to be around getting clear, like in the morning or whenever you are preparing to do like your like business work, doing a little mini meditation, doing a little breath work exercise, putting on some music that's going to like help you move your energy so that you can be clear and have yourself open and available to listen. Capital L, listen to the intuitive wisdom, to your higher self, who understands where your ideal clients are going to be present. And then to just continue to follow that listening as closely and almost like as quickly as you can, to not hesitate, to not get into your logical mind about second doubts and trying to like overanalyze or over strategize, especially in the beginning, because the beginning is all experimentation. It is all like spaghetti at the wall. And you can, though, experiment with your intention and by listen and make your experimentation more efficient by honoring the intuitive nudges that you are getting, because those intuitive nudges, if you are holding the intention in your heart of landing your first client, then the intuitive nudges that coming in are going to be aligned with that. And so it's like, how clear, how potent can you distill your message so that it is like maximum attraction for the folks that you want to work with? And as you're growing your online business, it's just a lot of that over and over and over and over again, distilling your like creative point of view, your unique perspective into However, your people are going to end up. I don't like the word consume, but that's kind of the word that we use. Are going to consume it. Are going to take it in. Are going to find you. And of course, there are practical things. There are landing pages. There are sales funnels. There are ways to keep your ideal first paid client in mind and to create systems that support them. And so you can have both, right? You can have the sales, the landing page with the email sign up, with the CTAs and the explanation, and like have all of that information sort of like thought out and available, and all of that is fine. And it's only beneficial if there are eyeballs on that page, if you have done the work to begin to like put out your magnets so that folks can be attracted. And trust that it is a process. That is the other thing, is that I think with all like quote unquote overnight successes, it's like, no, I've been doing this for years. Even Dochi, who is absolutely having a moment right now. I think I talked about this maybe only with my Artist Way cohort, but Dochi did the Artist Way 5 years ago. And all of her, she has vlogs on YouTube of herself going through the different chapters and is in a completely different place than where she is now. And it started with this like impetus of getting clear on your creative perspective and point of view and trusting in the process and understanding that it does take time for things to shift in the 3D. And so can we keep the faith? Can we maintain our vision and continue to trust in our purpose long enough to see the fruits of our quote unquote labor? And so remove any sort of like timeline pressure that you might have placed on yourself, because that is not going to be helpful. But 90% of the way there. We just have like a little bit more of a push. This is not the like 4 of cups. This is the 9 of cups. And so this is also, I think this is an extremely optimistic card. And I hope that you can take that energy out and be inspired and motivated and excited that this is all much closer than you think. And the timeline is not your responsibility. Okay, great. Okay, great. Amazing. Sunny, dear, if you are, I lost my positions, or I lost my participants. You're so welcome, Jennifer. Thank you for showing up and for finding the new link, and everybody for bearing with me with my technical difficulties. Mistakes are also a part of the ride. Jennifer, take it from another baby entrepreneur. Like, just gotta roll with the punches. I know it happens. Okay. If there are no other questions, I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I'm glad you were here. It's really fun to see all the different energies that people bring to these. And so I'm just grateful for everyone for showing up and bringing your energy. It literally makes it a different experience. And so I'm very, very grateful. Okay, well, even though you all couldn't hear me, I did a whole other 30-minute YouTube live. And so I'm going to close this out now and just express gratitude for everyone's patience, for their honesty, for their vulnerability. Thank you to our guides and ancestors for facilitating this conversation. Thank you to my sweet tarot cards, my little angel babes, for showing up and doing the work as always. And I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. I will be hosting breathwork, astrology and breathwork on Tuesday, March 18th. $22. You can do it from your bed in your own home. If you are working through any emotional anything, this is like the best maintenance practice, whatever, to just get clear and get grounded so that you can go through the rest of your life operating from a place of responding, intentionally responding rather than reacting. It is a way to call back your own power, your own agency, your own vitality in a lot of ways. And so if you are curious, I would highly, highly encourage you to come to that. Deeply transformational. And one of my favorite things that I've ever done is to do group breath work. And so I would love to have you all there. But if not, have a beautiful rest of your week and we'll talk on the internet or talk in person. Love you.